Hello and welcome to Art BS, Business Solutions. This is a podcast for artists that provide business solutions. We discuss all aspects of being an artist, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The goal for each podcast is to provide solutions so artists can focus on their creativity. I'm Rachel.
Stephanie Weaver.
Jules McCullough.
My only competition is the person I was yesterday. I don't know who gave that quote because it was on Pinterest. So we have had a lot about copywriting. So I just wanted to say I got it off Pinterest. I don't know who said it. But in this episode, we're going to talk about competitions, contests, awards. Do you enter them? Do you do them? So do you guys do competitions? Or have you done them in the past?
Yes.
No, I don't do them. Yes, I have done them. I don't like them.
I hate them. I despise them.
Okay, so it's unanimous.
Okay.
We hate competition.
Well, see, I love competition, but not these types of competition.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Exactly.
tell me why in some of your experience, Stephanie.
Okay, so when I think of competition, I look at it as though, okay, here's somebody that's doing something that's better than me or that I admire. And then I start looking at them and pulling out what can I do that's either like them or better than them. And that's how I view competition. These competitions that they put artists in, number one, you have to freaking pay for them. Why should I submit my stuff?
And some of them are expensive.
Yes.
Very expensive.
Why should I submit my work for you to judge it and tell me what I'm doing wrong? So, or what I'm not doing to, quote, your satisfaction. And I have a problem with that, but it's, you know, you're submitting your work to these people that, number one, you don't know, and they're making judgment that a lot of times you have no idea what their qualifications or judgment is based on. So, or you'll, like these juried shows to get into, if you even ask, you know, do the follow-up email, you know, what could I have done better, da-da-da-da-da, and it's like crickets.
Yeah.
They don't serve you.
Mm.
And, you know, you're going to pay to be part of something, I want to be served. You can't do this without me. And I can certainly do this without you. Like, it's not that hard with social media and everything that we have available to us nowadays. And I could take the $26 that it costs to submit one image to this competition, put a $26 ad out there, and I'm going to reach far more people and have a greater influence than that show possibly could. Whew, I'm getting a little heated over here.
But have you ever entered a contest though? I mean, like, and what was your experience then?
So
Obviously not positive. But.
No, I've done okay. I mean, I've done some juried shows and I've gotten in some juried shows, but at the end of the day, when I do the math, it doesn't make sense to do them. Because like you look at these juried shows, and I don't know if we're specifically talking about that, but you pay anywhere from $25 to $50 just to be in consideration. And then when you do make it in, then you've got to pay another $250 to all the way up to $2,000 if I wanted in the show. That was a dog show in Florida. And so then you pay to get into it. Then you got to go to it, get the hotel, bring all your stuff, spend anywhere 2 hours setting up, 2 hours takedown, 6 hours in the middle. That's a lot of time and money invested into something that could result in very little return. So it's all, for me, it's about the return on investment. And if it's not worth it, it ticks me off. And we've got a really good friend of ours, John Middick. He does the Colored Pencil podcast called Sharpened Artist. And I admire his work so much. He's a fabulous colored pencil portrait artist, and he won a competition with a portrait society. And I didn't even think about it, but the moment that he said that, I was like, oh, okay, so what's that do for you? And he was like,
my gosh.
I was like so mean about it. I should have been, oh, congratulations. But I was like, so what's that do for you? And
oh, wow.
I felt so bad. But the truth of it is it adds up to his resume. But what does that do for you? Unless you're a collector, somebody, and there's only a couple 100,000 or a couple 10,000 collectors, true collectors in the world, they don't care. Everybody else doesn't care about those awards.
Other than some galleries, like if you're trying to get
Yeah.
into some galleries, some of the high prestigious ones, then they're going to care about what awards you've gotten. And it does add to your resume. But for the average artist, the majority of artists, it's not necessarily going to help them.
But
Yeah.
do you think he would have gotten some notoriety, like locally? Like maybe
He
could
already
have
has
gotten.
notoriety. Like
No, I know, but like I'm thinking if he lived in Huntsville, like maybe one of the news stations would do something about him or have it, on their website or hey,
honestly, I don't know the answer to that, but I think it's one of those things like if you want notoriety as an artist, you can go to the news stations yourself and tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and who it's benefiting. They're looking for honest, positive news stories because they don't have a lot of those.
Yeah, but you have to go to them,
You
even
have
if
to
you
go.
did. Yeah, even if since he did win the award, he'd still have to go to them to get notoriety
Mm-hmm.
from
right.
Yeah.
local.
So I guess all it did for him was now he's an award winning.
Yeah. But anybody can say
Artist.
that, really. I mean, you can be an award winner at your local art league. You're an award-winning artist. What's that get you?
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, a perfect point to that just dawned on me while I was talking when we thought about this podcast and talked about it. Didn't even pop into my head. That's how important it was, obviously. I won an award as interior designer, was published in Interior Design Magazine, had to go up to Chicago at my cost
Yep.
to receive the award. And it was a very prestigious thing to have happen, but it really didn't get me anything.
Right.
When I look at it that way. Did it get me a few more clients at the time? Yes.
Well, see,
You know.
that's a return on investment. Did it equal out to the amount that it cost you to
Yes.
go up there?
But, I did, obviously make more money than it cost me to go
Good.
up there. But at the same time, it's not something that the average client, A, knows about, or B, would ask for.
Or
Yeah.
maybe even care.
Exactly.
'Cause
I mean,
they're
the
still
clients I was
connecting.
working with, they didn't care. They were small local businesses in Atlanta.
To
They're
me,
big.
I mean, I feel like they're connecting with you or you as an artist or the
Correct.
artwork. And that's what they're purchasing, not whether or not you're award winning or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've entered some.
I've entered
Competition.
some photography print competitions.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to put that name out
Oh,
there.
Blank that out. Sorry.
I've got the beeping noise.
Beep that out. Sorry.
Beep. Okay, there it goes. It's beeped out.
Just rolled off my tongue.
I didn't know we were going to throw them under the bus, but we could.
Well,
but anyway,
But
It's true.
it is who I entered through most photography print competitions, on a local and on a regional and a national level or through them.
well, they have local, state, regional.
Yes. And
yeah,
you have to pay
national.
for each one.
Yep.
And a lot of money.
A lot of money
It
per
isn't
piece.
$26.
Yes.
What is it?
It was like
$150.
50.
per piece.
Jeez.
Or $100 per piece. It varied. It depended on which level it was at. So, and this was
And then I
several
was-
years ago.
Yeah, and then I was with you, and you paid extra so that we could watch the live critique
Peaks.
These guys are
Of-
good at marketing. Okay.
of the
They are,
piece.
but also I paid extra to get the critique of my piece afterwards to understand what I could improve on. So you go in
That's
at a
good.
local level.
Right. So we thought, oh, this will be
Okay.
good.
yeah.
I get the critique back. They make some very valid suggestions. This was at the art competition level, not the technical portrait or photography level. And I made the changes that this certified photographer judge, a master, suggested.
Okay. I got questions already. All right. Go
I
ahead.
put it into the next level, which was national.
With those changes.
Got a lower score. I was 2 points off on the first score from meriting. Got a lower score, and the feedback I got, every single item was the changes I made from the first freaking judge.
Mm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes. Talk about subjective.
And we were
Right.
listening to it live.
Oh my God.
And me and Julie both were like, what?
The
What?
other guy told me to change that.
I know. We're looking
Wait,
at
he told me to change it.
We were looking at what they had said to change, and the judges live were like mutilating what they had said, like this other judge had said. And we were like,
It scored me 2
What?
points lower.
and-
Wow.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
And it was one of those where we were just like, what just happened? You know, it was,
Wow.
and you can't go back and you can't talk to them and you can't go.
It's one-sided.
And
Exactly.
unlike, some competitions you go to, you don't know what the qualifications are of the judges.
Mm-hmm.
In this, these are master photographers. They are CCPs or CPPs, just like me. They are, certified professional photographers. They did the same test and the same training I did. And granted, I submitted to the art competition, but yet they're judging me on the technical aspects of the image. It's a freaking composite. It's a piece of art. It's not meant to be technically lit correctly. It's meant to be make an
Expressive.
impact and be expressive. Anyways, I think that took me 6 years to get over.
Well, and then you had another piece that was an actual
Photograph that was in the photography side, not in the composites.
And the lady, one of the judges was like, oh, you need to change the light here and you needed to change this. And you, like it was a composite.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, that's not
photograph.
And she was like, I think I would have changed the rock that she was on. And I would have put her maybe not like right there, but I would have just changed the background. And Julie and I are like,
This
what?
isn't a composite.
This is a picture.
Like, you're not supposed
It's
to be
at a
grading me on a
camera.
composite.
Right.
Like, this one, you're supposed to be technically grading me.
huh.
It was in for the for the technical side of the
Anyways,
photo.
So
it's
this
all
was-
screwed up.
So this was 3 separate entries, 3 separate judges.
Yeah.
All
Well, there
of
were
them
3
messing up.
judges for each photograph.
Right.
3 judges for each photograph, and each
And they were
one
all
of them-
different.
Wow.
And it was all different. And it was like,
Yeah.
I think we both cried.
I'm a very emotional, empathetic person to begin with.
Mhm.
So that absolutely freaking crushed me.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was
we couldn't talk about it for a while.
No, I was like, I don't want to, I did not pick up my camera for probably over a year. I was
Wow.
so devastated by what they had said. And the first time, okay, I see what you're saying. I agree with it. Okay, I get it.
Mhm.
But then when the second one hit and told me to change everything I had just freaking changed, that's the part that was devastating to me.
Right.
It was the whole concept of,
Well, you took
Like-
the criticism and you were like, oh, okay.
Right.
I can learn from
And
this.
I
Is
can
that-
learn from
exactly,
that.
I can
Right.
learn from it. I can
And
do
then-
that. That's the whole purpose to doing this
Yeah.
to begin with.
Competition. And then she learned, it doesn't matter what they say.
Right.
What matters is that photograph was gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
and all 3 were amazing and they should have merited.
So I'm curious, like, who actually won? Like, what did they
There's-
say about
I-
them?
I don't know. See, we don't
Yeah,
we
I
just
mean,
kind of
there's-
like, "Ah," you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many hundreds and hundreds of photos. They literally have 3 seconds to judge a photo and give it a score.
Uh-huh.
Because I took the judging class last year
Mm-hmm.
for CEU credits. And it's not an easy task to sit there and judge because you have to make instantaneous thoughts. I mean, literally 3 seconds is what you get to judge a piece.
But it is difficult to really assess a picture in 3 seconds.
It is. It's
And-
very difficult.
When you're
Yeah.
honing in and you're looking at 800 pictures in one day, you start noticing just certain things. You don't
Right.
notice the whole thing.
So
Right.
that's the thing. I don't understand how they could possibly judge within 3 seconds. Because, I mean, you guys have seen how I evaluate artwork. I sit and I stare at it for a little bit, and you guys are sitting kind of uncomfortably waiting for me to say something. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking is I'm kind of getting into your style, understanding what your story you want to convey, and all of those
Right.
emotional components that go into a piece of art.
And
How can you
see,
possibly judge that in
on
3 seconds?
impact. How much impact does it have? How much does it, speak to you when it basically slides across that screen,
Well,
But
that's why you
it's-
see so much shit as winning award-winning art, because it makes a shitty impact, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Right.
I've entered in like, what was it? Oh gosh, it was like art marketing. No, not art marketing, but art magazine, something like that. They have an annual competition. And I went through the process of actually looking at somebody in the past, like who are the past winners. And some of them are really, really, really amazing. And then you get some that's just like, what the heck is that?
Right.
I don't understand what's going on there. And
Well-
that's what I don't, and maybe it's just because it made some sort of impact.
Yeah. Well, it was on trend. If anything I found out, there's definitely trends in the photography competitions, in my opinion. But, I've also entered jury shows, and I've gotten into some prestigious ones here locally, and I haven't gotten into other ones here locally. And again, it's all subjective. I think the problem with art is it's so subjective. And I mean, any art form, gymnastics is an art form. And it's, again, even though they have specific points they're judging you on, it's still subjective. Did she point her toe far enough? Was her leg straight enough? And the same thing can be said about art. Now, if it was actually graded on the actual elements of design or, elements of art,
Composite. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
on the
design and
composition,
composite,
if it's balance, all these different things that go into a piece of work, and we're almost like the blind auditions of The Voice. Like, I think that's the most brilliant thing I've ever
It really
seen.
is, yeah.
Unfortunately, we're in visual art, so it won't work. But
I don't think so. What do you think about this piece?
I know, right?
let me describe it for you.
But that's almost like, you can't take emotion out of people. People buy and on emotion, they are connected to something on emotion, and art is an emotional piece of something.
Let me ask you this then. Like, a lot of people feel like if you don't have competition, there's no growth, there's no progress, there's no growing. Even though you guys have done competitions and you're not doing them now, do you feel like it helped you grow?
Oh, me.
Go.
What Stephanie
You
said
go.
in the beginning.
You go.
What she said in the beginning is that finding someone you admire, a
Right.
mentor or another artist, and find something you like about what they do better than you, and compare yourself to that person. I know everyone says, oh, don't compare, don't
Comparison
this, don't do that.
is death. No, it's
No,
growth.
it's growth. And that, I think, is the key point, what she said in the very beginning about, comparing yourself to someone else and finding what it is. And I'm not quoting her verbatim, but, finding what it is that you like about that person's art. And maybe it's not even an artist. Maybe it's another business model. And you like the way that they market. You like the way that their emails sound. You like the way they post. You like the type of blog posts they're doing to
You love
help
their
enhance.
Instagram. You like the
Everything.
Pinterest.
Right.
You
It
like-
doesn't have to be another artist.
That's a good idea.
Like, I admire Stephanie for what she's doing in her business, and she's going down a completely opposite path of me. And I love what Rachel's doing with her pop art. Oh my God, you guys have got to see it. I can't wait till it
I
goes
know. I
live.
love her pop art.
And it's
Thank
just
you.
like, oh, I wish I could do that.
I know,
That's
right?
so cool. And I love color, and I can't do what she's doing. I
yeah.
know. It's like,
Oh, don't give me a big head.
oh, you have to have a big head. But
I think the thing that you guys are really saying is you got to have your tribe, your one person though that you can help give you some true constructive, nice criticism.
that's in addition to
A
finding someone you
kind
admire. Yes.
criticism.
Yeah.
And to know that this person is giving you criticism, they love you and they're giving you criticism not to make you feel like crap, but to make you better.
Right. Well, it's like last week, I felt horrible. Because of the empathetic person that I am, I just felt horrible having to give my opinion to Stephanie about something. But
I asked for it too. So
she
You
did
did
ask
ask. You did ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't just volunteer it, but I love her so much. I didn't want to, burst her bubble and her not succeed. That's why it hurt me to tell her, because I felt like it was going to hold her back and I am no expert. I could be totally wrong.
But see, that's what happened to you. When you got your constructive criticism, I'm putting that in air quotes because they just sucked. It wasn't constructive. I mean, it was just like left you in circles.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like, I'm going to give a shout out to Stephanie's group, the Positive Painters. When we meet on Wednesday nights and Friday mornings on Zoom, we're all critiquing each other's work. Like, we paint for for an hour or 2 hours, and then we send our pictures in, and we're all looking at everybody's work, and we're completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is
Awesome.
Stephanie has really taught us how to kind of critique each other in valid ways. Like, where's the light coming from? What is this? Oh, you can put some shadow down here. Oh my gosh, the nose is perfect, or this or that, or the background, you've got the background down, or whatever it is. And it's nice because, like, then she'll say, well, if the light is coming from here, what if we put some shadow right here? Or,
Right.
It
why
sticks
don't
to
you
the
light
elements
it?
of design.
Exactly.
It's not about feeling. Yeah,
Right.
that's the.
And that's a nice thing. And you get really good feedback that way.
Yes.
Instead of just going, oh my gosh, that looks like crap.
Yeah, I don't like it. What the heck are you doing?
It's like,
Right.
why
That doesn't help.
It wasn't
that doesn't help at all.
I would change this whole thing and make it green. And you're like, what? So, or like your critique. It's like, oh, you should like remove that rock. Well, okay, she was actually sitting on that rock.
I know.
So,
That's
I mean,
wrong. She was sitting on it.
I don't know how you
Move the
that.
rock.
You know what I mean? Like, it was.
Yeah, I think we should include some pictures in our show notes. But so I want to kind of go back to Julie's note about she was worried about she was really worried about hurting my feelings.
Right.
And so anybody, one of the things that I'm working on is I was creating a Etsy Bootcamp. So it's everything you need to know to start your Etsy shop and all this.
And it's awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, it's really good.
It's gotten me off my butt.
Thank you.
Me too.
And these guys are like my beta testers type thing here. So, we had a bunch of people going through, and part of that is to, get the feedback. So the next crew that goes through, it's so much better. And that's the point of critique, is so that the next time you do it, it's going to be better.
Yeah.
And that's what you do with your artwork. You get with people that you know, like, and trust to provide honest feedback. And you take that feedback, even if it hurts, you take the feedback and then you make it better, because out of pain, there is growth every single time. You just got to think back to when you were 12 years old going through those growth spurts. It was painful, but you reached a new height.
Yep.
And that's what you have to do every single time.
Right.
So, I appreciate feedback, guys. So if you have feedback on this podcast,
Us,
we want to
we'll
hear that too.
Exactly.
We do want to hear it, but we would love your 5-star reviews actually on
Apple.
Apple. Oh my gosh, it just went out of my head because I'm looking at our podcast website and I'm like, go to Podbean, but they don't have stars. But also go and review us on Facebook too. We have a Facebook page. So find us, let us know what you think, and we will talk to you next time.